Hey, welcome back to the Central Prairie Railway. I'm Steve Boyko. Today we're going to do another test of operations on the CN part of the layout to see if everything fits. So we've got a train here that is 4 cars plus a caboose, and we're going to take it and drop 1 car off at one of the local industries, pick 1 car up, and 3 cars are going to the interchange to the Central Prairie. So first thing I want to talk about is this train is currently in staging. You can see how far it sticks out. It's basically on the layout, although it's supposed to be in staging. But I want to show you the back part here. I talked about this in a previous video about making an extension. So here's my extension that I mocked up. So it's on a hinge. So you can see here that there's a hinge so that when I take the leg off, it can fold down out of the way, so that when I come in and out of this door here, I don't have to duck under this thing all the time, which I hate. So this is very temporary because this thing is just on 1 leg. It's pretty wobbly because the hinge is pretty loose, and also because this is all that's holding it on. So it is a very temporary thing just to try it out. And the other thing, of course, is it's downhill, so that when I put something on here, you know, it's going to roll down here, and that's why I put a screw at the end, so that it doesn't roll off onto the floor. So let's start by backing up the train, and we will then see how far it fits into the staging, and then go from there. Okay, so now, with this 4-car train in the staging, what you'll see is that the front end of it is around the curve. I think this is good enough. This is about as far onto the layout as I would like it to be. So I think that is acceptable. And I think probably I could even squeeze 1 more car here if I had a longer board. I just grabbed a board that I happen to have lying around. So yeah, let's give it a try. So we'll proceed onto the layout. Dirty track. I really haven't actually cleaned any of this track, except for I did clean the staging track for some reason, even though the locomotive may never go on it. But I haven't cleaned any of this track, and it's doing pretty well. I guess it's because I'm using decent locomotives as well. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is drop that boxcar off at the interchange, since I'm right here. So I will, sorry, not the interchange, the industry. So we'll start by dropping the caboose here, and then we'll back the boxcar in. See if I can get this done couple. There we go. And this is why cleaning track is important. We're in a dead spot. There we go. All right. And then we'll change the switch and line and lock it. I'm using my second controller over here. I realized that I could just grab the dangling cable from the Cargill extension here that was already wired up and plug it into the main part, which is way over there in the end. And so I get a second throttle, so I don't have to run around the peninsula. Okay, so we'll back in. And this is the industry that I'm not really super happy with, but we'll see how it works out. The reason why I'm not super happy with it is because you've got 2 tracks here, which I wanted, but you really don't have any room. It's unrealistically short, so I may have to either abandon the idea of having a switch or figure something else out. Anyway, for now, drop the boxcar. If I can get it done couple. This boxcar was on my workbench. I'm not really sure why it was there. I'll have to look at the paperwork to see what it was doing there. Alright, so we will now assume the handbrake is set on the boxcar, and away we go. Now these 3 cars are going to the Central Prairie Railway on the interchange. So we're just going to leave the caboose there. Let's think about this for a sec. I have to run around this train. So, no, I don't want to leave the caboose there. I want to grab the caboose. Oh, yeah. Actually, I have to throw the switch too. Try that again. And we'll back up. Get the caboose. So I have to run around all of this in order to be able to push this into the interchange. And we're not coupling. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, pull ahead until the whole train is opposite the siding, and then I'll uncouple and run around it with the locomotive. So anywhere here is good. And this is where I got to run around to the other side of the peninsula. I may regret this peninsula at some point. We'll see. Sorry, I almost dropped the camera. So here I am, uncouple. How's your day going? Any day that I can play with trains is a pretty good day. All right. I'll pull ahead. Line lock the switch. And we'll run around the train. And I have to stop because the switch is against me. Now while I'm here, the other brakeman's going to throw the switch and line it back for the main line so that I can just push straight ahead. Alright, now back around the peninsula. Get your exercise doing model railroading, did you know? Okay, now back to the other one. Line the switch. Back on the main. I was a little worried about that curve because it's an S curve. That seemed okay this time. Now, it did line up, but the coupler on this caboose is really low. Let's see if you can see that. If I can get the camera in close enough that you can see that, but the coupler is ridiculously low, so that it's really not really coupled. So we're going to have problems with that. So that's something that we're going to have to fix on the workbench afterwards with the caboose. Alright, so everything's lined. We can push forward until we get to the interchange, and then we're going to have to throw the switch. Alright, and then we're at the interchange. Back around the peninsula. So the interchange here is here. It goes around to here where the Central Prairie Railway main line will be. So this part here is the crossing of the CN line. This basically goes off into nowhere, and that is meant to be car storage. That's like an abandoned part of the subdivision that's used only for car storage. And then going this way is a bunch of junk, but what will be here is the yard for the first town. So we basically have to push these cars onto the track, interchange track between the two, and hopefully they fit. So this is one of the important tests here, is to see if they actually fit. Because I don't know how many cars will fit. It kind of looks like 3 might fit, but we'll see. So we want to push it until a point where it's not foul, which is about here, I think. I would say you could probably go a little bit farther. In here, if I look, I am foul. So I guess you could probably push it a little bit farther. It kind of creates a problem for the Central Prairie because it's foul of their track for sure. But since they'll be coming from this direction over here to get that, it's probably okay. So 3 cars is a real tight fit, and one of them is short. So that is something to keep in mind. This is really tight. Have to think about that. All right, so let's drop the car here, and we'll see if we actually can pull our caboose out with the bum coupler on it. Okay, so uncoupled. Let's see if we leave the caboose behind or not. Hey, it actually came with us. Great. So the last thing we have to do is pick up this car. So I have to pick it up and run around it. So as it happens, I am right in the right spot. So the brakeman, after he finished lining and locking that switch, will walk over here and line and lock that one, and we'll go in and pick it up. We'll see if there's enough power in there to actually pick up the locomotive. Yep, there is enough power for the locomotive. So we'll make the connection here, there, come back out. Alright, we're clear of the switch. Line and lock for the main line. So we're just going to run around that. So first things first, we leave the caboose here so that it's on the back of the train when we depart. So the caboose is uncoupled. We're going to push this forward enough so that we can run around it. I guess it's reversed from the point of view of the locomotive. Drop it there. I really like the bright ditch lights on this locomotive. They're ridiculously bright. LEDs. Alright, we just need to be clear of there. And go through the siding to run around this thing. We hit a dead spot again. There you go. Okay, now we're going to be smart here. Line that. Keep going. So now I should be able to just shove everything together, click, 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 and we're ready to go back. So let's try that. I'm going to do my little walk of shame around the peninsula. Okay, we'll line that up. Oh, wrong way. When you change controllers, you never know which direction the controller is going. Come on, go through. Huh. Really does not want to go through there. Okay. And forward, and we just basically clack, clack, put everything together. Maybe a little gentler than that. That's the idea. Clack. Keep going. Keep going. keep going. There you go. Alright. So, at this point, the train is together and we have to hook up all the brake lines to a brake test, and then we're ready to depart back into staging. So there's our cars in the interchange track. We took the cars out of here, and we dropped a car at the industry here, and then we're going to go out through staging. So I'll assume all that is done. Well, it's a really quick brake test, but I don't want to waste any more of your time, so let's go. Get the heck out of Dodge, as I said. Now we're going to see if the locomotive can... Oh, interesting. I got stuck on something. What am I stuck on? Just when you thought you were done, I imagine there's maybe a nail underneath. Yeah, there it is. Let's see if you can see that. Get in close. Get my fingers out of the way. Yeah, see this nail right there? It's too high. Push it down for now. Fix that after. Alright. And we go on to the staging. Okay, and there we are. Back in staging, another operating session over. So, a few important lessons. Still not entirely happy with this industry. I got to do something about that. I am happy with this concept of the foldable staging extension. I like it. And we'll have to do something more permanent than this rickety arrangement, but the concept is good. And the interchange track over there, I think, is too short. 3 cars, with one of them being short, don't fit really well, so I have to figure out what to do with that. We'll have to make some compromises, but think about that for a bit, and yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching.